All right, Genesis format. So I went to actually my second Genesis local event there, actually just the past weekend. I took Galaxy Eyes. After tiebreakers, I actually ended up getting first place. So not too bad. I'll go over some reasonings on my choices here for certain cards I'm playing. This was actually supposed to be the deck I took for my first Genesis event, but I accidentally forgot the deck at home. Luckily, I had a spare generator deck, and I took that at the time. I did okay with it anyway. But I did actually get to take this deck today, or not today, but actually just over the weekend, and did pretty well. So let's just go over that there. All right, so for the big Galaxy Eyes himself, you are just playing 2 copies. You don't need 3. It's very bricky, and in certain aspects, you might even be able to play 1. You really only ever need 1 in your deck. But the idea is like if you draw 1, you still kind of want 1 in deck because you are playing something like Afterglow. But you really only need 2. You could play 1 if you really wanted. Probably your best, I would argue best like extender / starter in the deck. Pitch a Light Monster Special and search a Galaxy Monster. The summon effect isn't actually once per turn. Mind you, it basically never comes up. At least in the pure Galaxy Eyes deck, but really solid card. You should be playing this absolutely at 3. As for your best normal summon in the deck, you are playing 3 Photon Delta Wing. For a long while, Galaxy Eyes did not have a good normal summon. We now have Photon Delta Wing, and it's a 1 card rank 4. So you can search like Soldier, and if you have like a good light discard, you can search Soldier and pitch it that way and kind of go off from there. Really good card. There's actually one game I ended up drawing 3 of this in my opening hand. It was kind of crazy. For more 3-ofs, you are still playing 3 Photon Jumper. You could argue that you might not need to play 3, but I've found that you absolutely always want this in your hand no matter what. It's an insanely good discard for Galaxy Soldier. Its Battle Fading effect has actually come up a couple times for me. Yeah, so I have no complaints about playing that card at 3. And then just for consistency, we are still playing 3 Photon Orbital, equipped to a monster. You kind of still need a monster to be able to summon, so it's not like the best. And if you wanted to trim down some fat, you could maybe consider lowering the count on this. Maybe just play 1 for the sake of it. But I do think still playing it at 3 is fine, because you just want that consistency boost. So that's it all for the 3 of monsters. Now just for some 1 of monsters, you are playing a lot of them. We'll just go over the big ones. So you're playing 1 Tachyon Primal, 1 Afterglow, and 1 Photon Emperor. Primal comes up in nearly every combo. Emperor comes up in nearly every combo. Afterglow is like maybe half the time. There are arguments you might even be able to consider cutting this. If you really want to trim the fat on this deck and fit in like more a non-engine if you wanted, you could obviously maybe consider cutting that. But Emperor, additional normal summon, Primal, search any Tachyon spell trap, both come up there almost every game. As for some level 4 1-ofs, you're going to be playing 1 Photon Vanisher. I would love to play more of this card, but you really don't want to see multiples because you can't normal summon it. It's really only there as just like a extender in case you need it. Galaxy Summoner, good for a grind game. It helps you make Star Liege really consistently. No complaints about that. And actually a new card here, that Galaxy Wardrake. It doesn't come up all the time, but when it does, it's really nice. It's normally what you end up summoning off of your Galaxy Trance. If you have like a Jumper in grave, you go summon Jumper from grave and Wardrake from deck, because this actually theoretically replaces the next card I'm going to talk about. It's just your Galaxy Wizard. I'm still playing 1 of it, just for the sake of option, and you always want to have as many options as possible. But there are arguments you probably don't need this, and because you're playing the Wardrake, so you might not need that. And then I'm still playing the 1 Photon Thrasher just because why not? So like both these cards, arguably you could probably end up cutting. Like there's not really an insane reason to keep them in, but I just decided to anyway, and they were fine enough, and I liked both of them. That's it for the archetype monsters. For more consistency's sake, we are playing 3 7th Tachyon, and I'm just going to put them here. We're playing 2 7th Ascension. Not much to be said. They're just really good consistency pieces. And another option I'll show you later on in the extra deck. More consistency's sake, this is a 1-card combo with your Jumper. You can go 100 pitch Jumper and then search Galaxy Trance and then kind of go off from there. Really solid card. No arguments there. As for 1 of spells, you're just going to play 1 Expedition. Comes up like maybe I'd say like 60% of the time. It's still a really good card. Trance. At first I wasn't actually playing Trance in the Genesis version because I felt like one to go through Dragluxion very often, but you still kind of want this as an option regardless, so I had no complaints over it. Numbers Last Hope, this card I never used. This is surely a card I actually cut on my next variant of this deck. It's so situational, it often breaks your hand more than it helps. The idea is that it's supposed to help you search on the opponent's turn. Like you search this on the opponent's turn with your Photon Lord, and then it helps you on a crackback to make 62. And then the last of the archetype cards you're going to be playing, just one Tachyon Transmigration. You could play more of this if you played more Primal, but I found those cards just kind of bricks you more, and you really don't want that. So I found one is plenty. You could technically side more if you wanted, but I'm not, so that's kind of personal preference. The last cards I'm playing for the main deck, 3 Droll. Kind of hand trap of the format, to be honest. Basically every deck is playing this if you can, but I'm also main decking it because I am playing 3 Crossout Designator because my deck cannot play against Droll. That's a lot of points you're putting here. That's 45 points you're putting towards just anti-Droll basically, or playing Droll yourself, right? Not much complaints. I got Drolled twice and I had Crossout both games and I was solid. So that's it for the main deck there. As for the extra deck, we are playing 1 Galaxy Photon Dragon, so I'm going to look over the level 4s here, or rank 4s. So 1 Photon, 1 Star Liege, and kind of a tech option. I'm playing 1 Photon Butterfly. I'm just going to call it Butterfly because I'm not pronouncing that. This honestly should be a 2nd Photon Dragon because there are many cases where you use one on your first turn and you can, for example, use Photon Lord to search like a Galaxy Summoner on the opponent's turn, so you have it as a crackback, but then you kind of don't have anything to go into from a Galaxy Summoner. So having a 2nd Photon Dragon is definitely something you should probably swap out this for. But the idea is that this is here for the times that you want to go for an OTK with number C62, but they might have something in a defense position, so you can make this and put something to attack mode, right? And it's because it works under Galaxy Trance, and it's archetype based, so it never came up though, to be honest. 3 main boss monsters, I call them boss monsters, that you would go to is obviously you have Photon Lord, MVP, Galaxy, Titanic Galaxy MVP, and you have Dragluxion. You go into like basically these 3 nearly every game. Dragluxion obviously you don't go into if you have to go for a trance line. Really solid cards, not much to be said about them. Now just kind of your toolboxy Galaxy Eye stuff. You're playing 1 Cypher and 1 Cypher X. I kind of realized after the first game that having blanket targeting protection in this format is incredibly strong because a lot of people are on Ultimate Slayer. I often exchange having, say, a Photon Lord or a Hope Harbinger on my end board to make this instead. So the end board would be something like you'd have Photon Dragon on field, you'd have Titanic Galaxy, and then you have Cypher X on your field with the Tachyon Transmigration. Because this is a Galaxy Eyes, it can make Transmigration live. On the next turn, if your stuff survives, I mean, 1, this guy's huge, but 2, you can revive like an Xyz. If they happen to get rid of your Photon Dragon, this can revive it, and you just start your turn with it on your field again. So this card is actually phenomenal, and I should be making it more often. You're playing the number C62 package, OG62 and C62. Not much to be said. It's like it helps OTK in a deck where you kind of just need that little bit help pushing through it, and it's really good actually. No complaints there. Last like real tech choice I'm playing for a Galaxy Eyes is full armor. Pretty mandatory. You can slap it on top of any Galaxy Eyes and you can pop a card. It's also huge, it's 4K. With some adjustments to the extra deck, I think you could actually fit in Cypher Blade, which I would love to, which I'm actually going to probably do on my next iteration of this deck, just to have extra removal, because you can go into your Cypher Dragon. If you've brought it back from your Cypher X, you can use Cypher Dragon, steal one of their monsters, put full armor on top of the Cypher, pop a card, go in Cypher Blade, pop another card. That's like 3 removal from like 1 Xyz on field. It's like, that seems really good. And then the last cards in your extra deck are all for 7th Tachyon. So I'm playing 102 Star Seraph and number C102 Archfiend Seraph. Search level 4s. I found you often you'd want to have an option for Galaxy Soldier, so that's why this only searches Galaxy Soldier. You kind of have a little bit of space in your extra deck, so I figured it was worth playing, and it did actually come up like twice. And then your last 7 targets are just number 107, respectively enough, and number C107. Number C107 is only here for a side deck option that I'll show you here in a second. I'm sure you could probably guess what it is, but you basically can't make this, but it's there just for the 7 Tachyon. Side deck I played 3 Nib. It's good against certain matchups. I found though I wasn't really siding it going second. I was siding it going first because you put it in for a crossout target. End up taking out something like the Galaxy Wizard or something if you find you don't need it. But yeah, nib, self-explanatory. And then because your deck has like no inherent like back row removal, you just want to max out on just a bunch of back row removal. So 3 Twin Twisters, 3 Cosmic Cyclone, solid cards. You have a lot of good discards for Twin Twisters, so not many complaints there. And then as mentioned, because you kind of do want to go for an OTK with C62 if you can, going second, I am playing 3 Dark Hole. Arguably, you could probably still play something like Dark Ruler, negate a board, and then you kind of don't care too much about winning that turn, and just clear your field anyway. You still have big monsters that you make from your extra deck, so it's kind of personal preference, but Dark Hole was pretty good. I had no complaints. And then the last cards in the extra deck, or side deck, I should say, 3 Kaijus. This should probably be 3 Lightning Kaiju, but I couldn't find 2 more, so I just put in 2 Gamma Seal. One thing a friend of mine told me is that you can't, if you Kaiju someone, you can't use the effect of Galaxy Trance, because it's a turn lock and you are technically the one special summoning it. So if you Kaiju them, you aren't able to use Trance for the turn. This one's the primary Kaiju you'd want to use, because you can search it with 7 Tachyon by revealing your C107. So that's it for the deck there. I definitely think there are a lot of changes I would make here to the deck to just kind of help it and bring it more in line, kind of cut some fat down on like excess cards that you might not need. But I definitely think the deck was actually very capable. I had not a lot of complaints about it, other than just some minor deck building. We're at 99 points with this deck, so you got 1 point to spare. Throw in a rank up spell if you want there. But yeah, that's the deck list there. Having a lot of fun with Genesis format. Definitely a lot of decks I've been testing with in the format. I've even been considering Onomat Rescue Ace. Let's see how that goes. That's it for the list there. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to check out. All right, peace out.